So, welcome back. Today's topic is all about the global sales athlete for 2026. If you are a business owner and you would like to be hitting your sales targets more regularly, this chat is for you. I'm currently wearing one of my designs. You will notice that in the next few episodes, I am enjoying wearing some of my custom made designs. This jacket was made in Trinidad by me. Annie Lewis designed, and I've hired a team to help me put it together. All right. The thing about wellness is that it does tie into sales. If you're a business owner, you want to have the energy to be able to pick up the phone, call someone, get someone to say, "Hi, I would love to buy from you. Tell me more about your product. Where can I find you? How can we be communicating better? When can I expect my product to be delivered? Can I come visit your site?" These are all sales qualities. And the reason that you can stay ahead is by making sure that you have the energy to show up and take those meetings, answer questions, and give the right information at the right time to your consumer. And if you are fueled and you have a routine with your health, your wellness, your exercises, you can sell more and enjoy selling more because people want to buy from you and they want to make sure that you have the energy and the ability to keep showing up and keep providing a great product or service. I'm going to share my screen now with you. We'll head right on over to my blog over at mygreenbalance.com and go through that together. Okay. The global sales athlete. Why discipline and recovery now matter more now than in every region. Now matter more now more so than in every region. And we are popping over to the city life to investigate what people are doing in athletic world. Because when it comes to being an athlete, there are a few things to observe. And the first one is most certainly discipline. Because you will notice that athletes are extremely disciplined people and have a routine and a structure. And that's why health matters, and recovery, and training, and routine. So the global sales leader of today is starting to look less like traditional executive and more like an athlete in terms of behaviors and habits. Not because every person who can sell a great product or service, a CEO or commercial director needs to train like a professional competitor, but because the demands of global sales now require more stamina, recovery, speed, discipline, sharp focus, emotional control, and the ability to perform under pressure across different regions, time zones, markets, and cultures. To be able to communicate in different languages and cultures takes a different type of skill set where you can really get that edge. Modern sales environments are not slow, they're not simple, they're not just simply local. A leader may be dealing with customers in America, suppliers in Asia, partners in Europe, prospects in Africa, and digital buying behavior that never really switches off. The day may begin with a pricing call, move into customer escalation, shift into a market entry discussion, and then end with a late night follow up across another time zone. In that environment, the person leading the sales call or the sales routine or the sales team cannot afford to treat health as a side issue. Health is always going to be the priority. Health and wealth go hand in hand. You might even notice that because you're into health, you go to play tennis or pickleball or golf, and you end up selling another year's supply of your favorite product that just so happens to be the person playing golf next to you's favorite product also. Sales is into fitness. You can be sitting in a sauna communicating about your new product launch. And the person in the sauna could be like, I have been looking to buy a product like this for months. I'm so happy I sat next to you in that sauna. This is why the idea of the global sales athlete matters. Athletes understand that performance is not created only during the game. It is created through preparation, recovery, fuel, sleep, discipline, coaching, and repetition. Some people like a seamless, simple sales process. You see a product you like, you get availability to make sure that you can show up and pay that it's available. You show up excited, you transact, make that swipe or that payment, you get your product, you take it home, you enjoy it, and you enjoy it long term. Now, that's my kind of purchasing behavior as a consumer. I'm not sure what yours is. Each person might have a different purchasing behavior. And it's interesting because as a business owner, you might have to be dealing with different negotiations. Maybe you have a hard customer that's always trying to push down your price or, you know, who's always complaining about your product or your product quality. You might find different challenges that keep coming up with your customers or with different problems. And you always want to make sure that if you want to put a product or service on the market, then you have to have it at the standard that you would like to buy. So, for example, if I put a product out in the market and I say, go check out my shop online and go and shop there because we have the best items for you. It needs to be a seamless process where if you and I are going shopping together, you're like, wow, Anik, I love your store. How do these fit? I want to buy this now. You need to make sure that this could be delivered to your door tomorrow. If you're preparing for your next few seasons and you're like, that is exactly the kind of style I've been looking for. I love how it fits. I love the baby blues. I love all of these styles. I love how this matches and this butter yellow. I'm so looking forward. I just want to click purchase and it's delivered to my door. And I get excited about that. And it's personalized. We can personalize stuff and make it fun. And so it has to be that you provide a service or process that allows for you to be able to have a easy purchasing or fun purchasing experience. And if you don't, then it makes it kind of boring because then you have extra stress to deal with, and nobody wants stress when they want to spend their money, right? All right, so the difficult pricing conversation is usually the they're saying it's a game day, but you know what? If you know what kind of store you're going into, you know that you're gonna spend a lot of money. Like you're not gonna go into a luxury store and expect to spend less than a certain amount. So there's no real negotiation. If you're kind of a cheapskate or you're always looking for some low cost discount product or you always have to beat somebody down to the lowest price because that's your purchasing style or that's how you are. That's how you are. You shop accordingly and you have those customers accordingly and you're always negotiating because maybe that's the thrill of how you do things and how customers are. But in a lot of shops, like you go into Lululemon or Alo, you know you're just going to show up and buy something and you're going to spend because it's quality. So there's no real negotiating on a price. You know what you're going for. You get it, and you might even get a fun gift thrown in there because they're like, thanks for shopping with us. That's the kind of shopping experience I enjoy. But this other style exists in the world, and I'm not blind to it. And to be trained in these negotiation styles, sure, um, it exists, right? The quality of performance in those moments do depend on what the leader has been doing before those moments arrives. So the global sales have become more demanding because buyers are more informed and often more independent than before. Gartner reported in March 2026 that 67% of B2B, which is business to business buyers, say that they prefer a rep-free experience, meaning buyers want to research, compare, evaluate on their own terms before involving somebody that is going to sell them the product. For example, if you go into a shop and you see 10 products on a shelf, they might be all fantastic products. However, it might be that one brand with one outcome or a specific purpose is best for what you are looking for as yourself in this human existence. And the person next to you might go to the same shelf and want a different brand based on their preference or what they need. So it's about connecting consumer with what you need, want, or desire. Because the worst thing to do is to spend money on products that you don't even want, you don't need, and you don't desire. Because when you spend that money and you invest and it's something that doesn't work, it doesn't give you a good solution, it doesn't make your life better, it makes it not a good experience. So the whole goal is that the seller or executive must bring real value, not just noise. This changes the role of a sales leader because you can go travel the world, take your products door to door, or have meetings, but the customer must really want to buy what you have to sell. And it's no longer just pushing a product and product information in front of a person. If they want to upgrade their branding and packaging and they want to have the best delivery service and the best material, they will go and get that done. They will come and do that. The buyer has all the information required. All they need to do is show up and pay, show up and pay, and talk to somebody nice in the process. The whole point is you want to talk to somebody nice in the process because that's what makes it more enjoyable. You want that leader to bring judgment, trust, interpretation, confidence, and guidance. And you must be able to understand the customer's real risk, answers difficult questions, manages objections like time, timing. Maybe they deep down inside want to bulk buy 100 items, but they're lowballing, thinking they could only manage 50, but they know they actually sell out if you as a good sales trained person makes them realize, hey, you always sell out. You of course you're gonna sell out that 100. You don't need to lowball and get 50, get the 100 for sure. That is what you are required to do when you're influencing your customers to purchase more, especially in bulk sales purchasing, and having long-term relations where, yeah, not only are you going to buy 100, you're going to buy 100 every 3 months, and you're going to be a repeat customer, and we're going to do business long term. Of course, and we're going to enjoy chatting and renewing that transaction time and time again because we have so much fun. And that's why you're here, and that's why you choose me, and that's why I trust you, and that's how we're going to play golf together, and that's the nature of our business. And we're going to talk about health and wellness, and I'm going to make sure you're staying hydrated, and we're spending money together, and I'm giving you a great product, service, or return. You must be able to understand your consumer or customer's real risk, answer those difficult questions, and create that confidence quickly. That requires mental sharpness, and mental sharpness requires a physical and emotional capacity. Not only capacity, but if your customer is saying, I would love to buy this product, but I'm too tired to go and pick it up myself. You need to say, oh, you're going to spend money with me? I will deliver it to you, no problem. You're going to be a repeat customer and you're too tired. Don't even bother about it. Consider it on the way. No problem. I will handle that. You just enjoy this easy transaction process, put your money down and enjoy your product. And that's where health becomes a commercial advantage because you want to be able to have the product and listen well to what your consumers really needs and to be able to understand their stresses, to make the whole process easier to manage and seamless, to think, well, this is actually an emotional concern. It's not even anything else. These emotions require fulfillment. And the fulfillment that it requires can only be serviced by us, the supplier, or the person who owns the product ready for sale. They can't go to a different distributor and get the same quality service provider. It just won't work. So you need to say, you know what? Emotionally, if you've been dealing with a lot, let me make this more exciting for you because you're my number one customer. You're here to do long-term business, and you don't go to our competitors. You stay over here. So therefore, we're going to treat you extra special and make sure that you feel that you're very well taken care of. A poorly rested CEO may still show up to the meeting, but they're not present and they're never going to be fully present because their mind is in varying places. So, therefore, you have to figure out how to focus and be in the right place at the right time with the right people for you to feel comfortable being in the present moment. If you don't love being in the present moment around the people that you are around, it's a direct sign that you're in the wrong place and also that your inner emotional work has not been completed because you should feel top of the top with the right connections around you, no matter what. If it's a wrong connection or an unfulfilling connection, you will notice emotional leaks. And therefore, you want to make sure you are, as a consumer, going to the right store to purchase. For example, when I'm going to shop, I don't want to buy anything that's not cotton. So every shop I go to that has not cotton, I'm going to walk right out because I don't want to buy it if it's not cotton. And that could be an emotional reason that cotton makes me feel more comfortable and breathable, and I like how it feels. So that is an emotional decision that I made. And that's how I will keep making those emotional decisions. Similarly, if I buy one brand of a protein shake over another brand of a protein shake, I choose a brand that I like. I like right now only what you need. And I'm not gonna buy another brand because that brand gives me everything that I need. I'm not gonna go and try different brands out because what's the point of that? If they don't have the brand that I want, if I have to buy another brand, I will. But if they have what I want, I'll buy what I want. And that's just how sales works. Once you have that good customer relationship and trust, you really want that consistency and that consistent consumer purchase behavior happening. In high value sales, presence matters. Customers can feel the difference between a leader who's clear and one who's just pushing through the motion, just showing up exhausted, not there, emotionally elsewhere, psychologically elsewhere, not enjoying the environment because they just allowed an environment to happen without consciously creating and positioning the environment that they really want, need, or desire. The global sales athlete understands that energy is part of the offer. Customers may not say it directly, but they are reading the person across the table. They are asking whether this company feels reliable, whether their standards could be met. They're considering if they're even lowering their standards, trying to communicate with someone who is absent, who is communicating on a level that is not giving the full package of the sale that they really deep down desire. And they might be in the wrong place if they're trying to purchase a full product and they're only getting a crumb of a product. And that's when they start asking the leadership team. They're asking, is this supplier, partner, or service provider able to handle pressure? Is this leader leaning on somebody else for stability, or do they have the facility to show up stable and with stable energy, clearly communicate, have that emotional control, create more confidence, more so than leaders who show up feeling scattered, drained, and reactive? Technology is also changing the sales game. For example, Salesforce reports that AI agent adoption is accelerating. And I did some work with these AI agents. I did some research on these AI agents recently, and it sounds a lot like what I was selling in 2022. I called a bazillion, not a bazillion, but I called quite a few companies in America to sell insurance agents, roofers, and accountant agencies and law firms and businesses selling AI agents to say, hey, your sales process is so long. You can make your sales process so much faster if you had an AI agent basically warming up your leads for you. And we worked through LinkedIn. It's still a great product and it's a reliable service, and it really does help. Because if you are not using AI in your sales process in 2026, I would say you're behind, but then we were also a bit ahead of the time with that because people were a bit skeptical to wanting to use these tools. But that's why AI can give sales teams speed, but it doesn't automatically give them stamina or judgment. AI may still help prepare the brief, draft the follow-ups, organize account history, do some of the documenty paperwork, act like an assistant. But the human still has to interpret the customer's tone, build the trust, do all the human things, and then decide when do we push, when do we pause? When do we get the emotional temperature? When do we get the mindset? Is this person ready to purchase now? Are they going to purchase in a few months? Are they wanting this specific product? You want to feel like your service or product is the best fit for your consumer, and it's like when you go to buy a pair of shoes, you don't want to buy a pair of shoes that don't fit. You have to buy the perfect fit, otherwise you don't buy it. Or you want to get the perfect size for your body type, your style, otherwise it won't fit and you'll have to do fixes and it'll be continuously a product you have in your closet that you look at thinking, I bought this, but I didn't really love it. I just thought it would look good and now I'm bored of it. And that is how sales works on B2C levels. More so for B2B, it's more larger scale. So it's more about processes, systems, sales, and repeated flows, uh, workflows, logistics, etc. The sales leader who's healthy, disciplined, and recovered uses AI better because they have the capacity to think beyond the tool and to understand its relevance in a business owner's life or a research student in a university. This is why discipline matters in every region. Whether the leader is selling in Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad, Dubai, London, Mumbai, São Paulo, New York, Singapore, America, Miami, California, South America, Australia, China, Japan, Thailand, the West Indies, Barbados, Jamaica, Poland, London, Greece, Germany, France. The performance truth applies. Body and mind carry the commercial conversation. Different markets have different customs, buying cycles, languages, pricing pressures, and the relationship expectations. The leader still needs energy, patience, focus, and resilience. Discipline is what protects those qualities. It's a discipline to prepare before the meeting instead of relying on charisma. It's a discipline to eat for stable energy instead of grabbing whatever is convenient and going through consistent crashes and then gaining a bunch of weight or aging at a rapid pace because you just would grab whatever is convenient instead of planning every week your process with that level of discipline. There's no excuse for your energy levels. There's no excuse for you grabbing convenience in 2026. No, you've done the foundation work. So there's literally not an excuse. It's the discipline to move your body even when you're busy traveling, going to the gym, showing up, training those muscles in the gym, whether you're working on your delts, you're training your shoulders on while you're working, you're in the gym working on your core, meeting people in the gym, and enjoying that club time and making those connections globally. And discipline is what protects those qualities. It's a discipline to prepare. That is the protection. It is a discipline to sleep before high stakes decisions, a discipline to follow up clearly, communicate honestly, and not let stress turn into poor behavior. The global sales athlete allows food to become fuel. It's not just convenience or food pleasure. It's fuel. It's giving a purpose. It's anti-aging. It's antioxidants. It's giving a glow. I'm buying a green juice, for example, like people like us in wellness. When we purchase a wellness product, we purchase a product because we say things like, oh, I'm gonna buy this because it'll make me glow. I'm buying this green juice because it will strengthen my nails. I'm buying this collagen so that my teeth get stronger and my hair will be healthier. I'm buying this because, and it always has a because, and it's always a fuel of a purpose. It's not just convenience or a random, I'm gonna fill my stomach. No, we will fast and we will take that time to go without if there is too much just convenience that ends up being, it's almost like it's taxable. It becomes so inconvenient. And sales often creates those loops that you get stuck in with unhealthy patterns with the airport dinners and the sandwiches and the late dinners and the pastries and the meeting rooms and too much coffee, alcohol, networking, skipped breakfasts, oversized portions, and long hours without proper hydration because you didn't even consider how to do it properly. And even if you train with a nutritionist and you're still not taking that advice but doing whatever you want, you're still taxing yourself. And the choices may seem insignificant, but they affect your energy, your blood, sugar, mood, focus, recovery. A leader who eats badly during their sales trip may slowly train the body to continually underperform, especially when the stakes are the highest. A better approach is to build simple diet principles that survive in every region. Choose meals that include protein, vegetables, fiber, healthy fats, slower digesting carbohydrates, and drink water consistently. Avoid making those sugar and caffeine those main energy strategies. Avoid those heavy fried food meals. Keep it away from important meetings when possible. Use the local foods intelligently. Find the grilled fish options. Find the local produce. Instead of treating every business meal like a performance damage indulgence, the goal is not perfection, it's predictable energy. Movement is equally important. Sales work can be surprisingly sedentary. A person may spend hours on planes, cars, conference rooms, hotel lobbies, and in virtual meetings. In their hotel rooms, they are ordering room service with more junk time and time again. The lack of movement affects circulation, stiffness, mood, stress. The World Health Organization states that physical activity supports physical and mental health, while noting that 31% of adults globally do not meet recommended activity levels. For a sales leader, movement should be treated like a recovery tool and a thinking tool. A walk after lunch helps to reset the body before afternoon meetings. A short workout, either at the end of the travel day to connect and socialize, or before the day, can improve energy. Stretching after a flight can reduce stiffness. Walking meetings can create better conversation flow. When you travel and you go to Pilates classes, yoga clubs, you meet the best of the best athletes in the world. You're constantly surrounded by open-minded, positive, strong, healthy, fit bodies that are all on the same page and make it that much more fun and exciting between your working hours. Strength training can improve your posture, your stamina, and your resilience. None of this needs to be extreme. It's just consistency and routine. Recovery is the third major advantage because many businesses and cultures glorify pushing and eating that extra steak over their big bellies and gorging in the fatness of it all. But athletes know that recovery is where the body adapts. Without recovery, performance declines. And the same is true in global sales. A leader who constantly travels and eats poorly, sleeps badly, drinks too much, never recovers, may still produce results for a while, but eventually the cost appears in the moods, judgment, health, relationships, and performance consistency. Recovery can be simple. Protect your sleep before your major presentations. Reduce late night screen use when possible. Hydrate aggressively during travel. Build quiet time into intense sail trips. Avoid scheduling critical negotiations immediately after exhausting travel unless it's unavoidable. Use your movement to clear your stress. Maybe take extra calls. Use your movement to be extra productive. Create recovery rituals after high pressure customer events. The global sales athlete does not wait until burnout arrives to recover. They plan recovery as part of the performance. This is especially important because the sales pressure is emotional. You get rejected, you have to negotiate, you get delayed decisions, pricing objections, customer complaints, and competitor threats that all create extra stress. A leader who does not recover becomes reactive. They may push too hard, communicate poorly, or take customer resistance personally. A recovered leader can stay composed. They can listen longer, ask better questions, and negotiate without desperation. When you go to shop in a store, and you are looking again, we're going to bring you back to the cotton t-shirts. You only want your cotton t-shirts. You go to store, you're exhausted, no cotton t-shirts. You go to another store, you're exhausted, no cotton t-shirts. You finally go to a store and they're cotton t-shirts. You go straight to the counter, you buy your cotton t-shirts, and you're happy and you're good to go. You have to go through that process of filtering through all the trash to eventually find your cotton t-shirts. Health also matters because the sales process is becoming more and more relationship driven. It's always been, it always will be. Even when buyers prefer digital research and self-service, major decisions still require trust. If you are in a zero trust environment where your team of colleagues and people are anti-trust, don't believe in trust, and turn up your face at having trustworthy relations that are dishonest, you will never understand what high value, customer trusting success is and how we operate in that level where it's a trust only environment. We only work with people we trust. If we don't trust you, we do not want to work with you. And this is how we create our stability because we have those bare minimum requirements that trust is a foundation. It's honest, and we know we deliver time and time again. We show up time and time again. There is never room to have a zero trust probability in this arena. Not in 2026, no. Most certainly not. And it sucks if you are in an environment wants no trust because that takes you to the lowest level of human existence on the most cannibalistic level of human existence on the planet because maybe trust is too much of a rich habit for you to understand. Maybe it's too much of a luxury for you to know what trust and loyalty really is, that you're so poor. You prefer to be around a trustless community. In this stage, in my green balance community, trust is the only access. You break that trust, you are never welcome back. Never. There's a strict trust access only code, and we only operate on those high levels of trust. A healthy leader is able to better build that trust because they bring that steadiness to the room. You know what to expect because they show you time and time again the consistency, not only in their work, in their communication, in the standards. They are consistent and trustworthy because we have those standards. Boring to you, very important to us. The global sales athlete also understands regional sensitivity. Selling across regions requires more than confidence or fake confidence. It requires cultural awareness, patience, respect, emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and communicate in different languages if be, and at bare minimum, cultural awareness and respect for different cultures. A leader who is tired, rushed, stressed may miss the cultural signals. They may speak too aggressively in a market that values relationship building. They may move too slow in a market that rewards speed. They may misread silence, hesitation, formality, and indirect feedback. If you misread a person's silence, that's on you because if you don't understand that at the top levels of wealth, silence, peace, and serenity are what billionaires strive to operate at to protect fiercely, it shows your level of poverty that you cannot understand or respect or even acknowledge that level. So stay in your lane. But don't you dare criticize a level you haven't even reached. You probably will never in your lifetime. Health does not replace cultural intelligence, but it supports the attention needed to use it well. Discipline also protects reputation. In global sales, your name travels. Customers talk, partners talk, industry people talk. A leader who is consistently prepared, clear, respectful, steady, builds reputational value. We have fun every time I go to conferences. We're in the room, we're doing our exams, we're getting our results, we're trying the new products, we're meeting brand owners, building long-term relations. It's all about meeting consumers who have turned into business owners that now service consumers in health and wellness products. The food industry is massive in America. There's so many amazing food and beverage brands on the market. It's so exciting to meet the owners behind the brands that change our lives. It's so exciting to get the most amazing products that are aligned with health that you can buy today. I had so much fun eating vegan gluten-free pizzas and vegan yogurt and chickpea Cheerios and oh my gosh, so much fun. And we love that. People know me for that. They will say when you go to America, they would already know Annie is going to find all of the dairy-free, the collagen, the gluten-free stuff. And we love that. And we make the products and we have fun with it. And I like being known for that. I like that they say you can put our product in your videos and have fun. On the flip side, a leader who is erratic, moody, tired, dismissive, poorly organized, and generally just stubborn and annoying, emotionally reactive with that annoyingness, has anger outbursts, creates doubt. Someone who shows up to show that they are not a generous person, but they are a stingy person, is a complete opposite to what I just explained previously. And the global sales athlete understands that every interaction is training the market how to view them. You book the cheap table for sushi instead of the nice restaurant. Okay. Noted. You don't want to go on the ocean tour because you prefer to be stubborn and not have a good experience on travel. Okay. You prefer to make it look like you are not putting your best foot forward for reasons that you think you're above everyone else. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm going to be very quiet taking notes. That's for sure. Companies should pay attention to this because workforce health is not just an individual issue. McKinsey Health Institute has argued that organizations that prioritize employee health often see improvements in productivity, reduced absenteeism, lower healthcare costs, better insurance policies, and stronger engagement and retention. In research with the World Economic Forum, it's estimated that improved employee health and well-being could generate up to $11.7 trillion US in global economic value. Do your own research, but I like the sound of what this is saying. That should matter to sales organizations, especially if health improves productivity, engagement, retention, and health also affects the pipeline quality. Customer experience, follow-up discipline, and deal consistency. A sales team that is physically and mentally drained may still chase the targets, but it's unlikely to operate at its best for long. A healthier sales team has a stronger foundation for sustainable performance. Global Sales Athletes Framework gives companies a better way to develop commercial leaders. It's exciting because executives who are in their 70s are traveling across continents more so without any excuses than people under 40 who are providing excuses of why they can't travel because the flight is too long or it's too far away. And for that, we observe, we take notes, and we look at people's excuses and we look at their trajectory for the future of that personality trait. And we take notes to see how far that will take you. And good luck. A healthier sales team does have a stronger foundation for sustainable performance long term. The Global Sales Athlete Framework gives companies a better way to develop leaders, commercial leaders. Instead of only training sales scripts, objection handling, CRM use, negotiation techniques, and AI tools, companies also train energy management. I mean, at My Green Balance, these are the skills we train people and executives in. If you notice someone around you all of a sudden advanced in a lot of these skills, we train these skills very routinely and specifically for specific outcomes. Now, the application of this education is debatable because we do recommend you use these skills for good and for health and for betterment of humanity. If you take these skills and apply them in negative contexts, it's quite disappointing. Travel routines and nutrition basics, recovery practices, emotional regulation, focus, discipline. These are not soft extras, they are performance inputs. A sales leader's weekly rhythm should support the sales mission. That might mean preparing account plans when energy is highest, scheduling movement after long sitting periods, eating lighter just before major presentations, protecting sleep just before negotiation days, and using AI as an assistant to reduce some of the admin load if it's overwhelming you or you can't keep up. Building short recovery windows after high pressure customer meetings. You want to use AI as well to optimize your calendar to make sure that your routine is optimized for your goals. You're scheduling the people you need to meet with weekly, you're running your team in an organized fashion, you have the correct accountability put in there that you are putting in your calendar, your accountability sessions. You have the right planning objectives, etc. These habits may look simple, but it drastically improves the leader's ability to perform repeatedly. And it applies to teams. A company can create a healthier sales performance by reducing unnecessary internal friction. Do not make salespeople spend hours searching for basic information that will not give them that edge to sell a few extra products. You want to make sure everyone has the information to sell more, do more, and not be overloaded with meetings that don't help the customers. You don't want to reward frantic activity over smart execution. Don't treat exhaustion as proof of commitment. Build systems that allow sellers to spend more time on meaningful customer work and less time fighting internal chaos. And this is where AI, health, and discipline connect because AI is there to reduce unnecessary load. You want to invest your money in the right places. Investing in AI is for sure one of the best return on your investments you would ever make in your life. Health is there to protect capacity. Discipline is there to direct that capacity towards the highest value work. You need to be able to discern and direct to the highest value work. When all work together in an organization, the CEO at the top, COO, CFO, and then under that is sales in the organization with their products. The sales organization becomes faster, clearer, and more resilient. Every region will have its own commercial realities. Some markets will be price sensitive. Some will be relationship led. We will be relationship led. We decided as My Green Balance since 2020, 2014, we were always going to be relationship led. We value our customer relations exceptionally. We like our customers to have happiness in their purchases, and we really value that. We put that at the top of our priority list. Some will be highly digital. We like the digital part for the viewers who are all around the world. We meet people all around the world and we want to stay connected to people all around the world. So we love having a digital footprint. You can check us out on Google, Annick Lewis, Annick, Lewis. And we love having that too. And it does require the physical presence. You need to have physical presence as well as being digital is our ethos here at My Green Balance. And some will be shaped by tariffs, some freight costs, currency pressure, or regulatory change. Each region will have these changes to manage, and the global sales athlete doesn't assume one approach works everywhere. They prepare their body, mind, and strategy for adapting. The mindset going into this in 2014 was always being adaptable because life would put people in positions to adapt. Who does not want to stay up to date in the tech age? That adaptability is actually the real advantage, and that was researched since 2014, and it is proving itself correct. A healthy, disciplined, recovered leader can adjust faster because they're not fighting their own exhaustion. They listen better because their mind is clearer. They can travel better because they have their stability and routines. They handle rejection because they decided they wanted to be trained on rejection. You can't go into sales not knowing how to deal with rejection. You train yourself on rejection. You read Jack Ma, you get to, you know, J.K. Rowling, you go into any big long-term goal preparing for rejection because you know that that is the path forward towards having the best skills possible to then learn how to manage objections in the future with your customers. And your nervous system trains with it so that in the future you avoid being constantly overloaded. Therefore, you sell better because you have more capacity to trust and build trust. You have the discernment as well to know when not to trust because you've seen shady people in the markets and a few scammers and you want to avoid those. But then you understand how to filter over time and you see the real businesses, the real people, the people who show up, who actually show up with honesty and want to buy. And you can have a quicker filtration process as time goes on. So the future of global sales doesn't only belong to the person with the best decks, best CRM, best AI assistant, or best pricing model. Those things matter, but they're not enough. The future will belong to sales leaders who can combine tech, human stamina, data with judgment, speed with recovery, and ambition with discipline. Throw in a little health, wellness, and flexibility in there, and you're top of the top. That is the meaning of, I guess, meditation falls into there. That is the meaning of the global sales athlete. It's not about turning business into sport for the sake of a metaphor. It's about recognizing that human performance has biological, emotional, and behavioral foundations. The body matters, the mind matters, the soul matters. Recovery matters, breath matters, habits matter, discipline matters. Decision making matters. Connecting your mind, body, and soul for your decisions matter, especially when you're shopping. Finance is very spiritual and it matters. You know, you want to buy the right product. You want to be sold the right product. Sometimes I go into a shop and I'm like, are you going to be the salesperson that's going to sell me? Please sell me because can you look at my body, choose a color that you see will look good on me? I don't have much time. You know the products here. I'm going into your store. Choose a matching outfit for me. Let me buy it and let me get on the road. It's really that simple. That is the ultimate sales behavior I believe is relevant in today's generation. And the reason why I like that is because let me give you an example. I went to Alo and it was my first time in the store. I've ordered online before. And I thought, oh my God, I love Alo. I definitely was looking for cotton, but I thought I'll still buy something here that's fitnessy because I want some fitness outfits. So I go in, I start looking at some whites. That's my usual go-to. And then the sales assistant, I go to the sales assistant as soon as I go into these shops. And it gives you the image of the type of shopping experience that differentiates high quality brands from medium to low quality brands. So you go into the shop, you speak to the sales assistant, you say, I'm looking for this, I want a matching fit. So then they say, okay, well, this actually is something you might like and this will fit your body shape or style. Go and try it on. You come out of there, it looks great. I would not have chosen it for myself. Thank you, sales assistant. Easy purchase, loved it. Loved buying that. Love the people in the store, the vibe's cool, love it. On the flip side, you might go to a different store and you have to search for everything yourself. They might not be greeting you to look for personalizing your shopping experience, and you're expecting to spend less there. So you need to know the difference of how much you're going to spend and what your expectations are. Because if you're going to spend top dollar, you best believe you want a sales assistant who's going to communicate in that language that you say, I don't have much time, give me what I need, give me what looks good, and let's get out of here. On the flip side, you can go somewhere and be like, I have a little more time to search. I'm looking for something specific. I have more time. I can do with this budget. I'll go filter through the shopping experience and find what I want. It's up to you, and that is B2C. And if you want to translate that into B2B, then you have to be able to shop online and in person for whatever your business is that you're buying in bulk and what the markups are in stores and how you want to do that on a large scale. So for me, for example, I am currently avoiding doing some pricing work on my store of looking at some of my own pricing structures because I love the prices I chose in matching Aloe and Lululemons for sure, which was the point. But the point further is I really should actually do the math behind it. That was based on intuition, but I know that markups are a science. So as a business owner, I'm also going to translate this into my business, and then say, okay, well, what actual numbers should be on those pricing lists? And then for my customers who I train with, who work with me, we're outfitting people. You can get wonderful lounge outfits. Hey, I'll customize it for you if you want. Put your name on it. I love all of that stuff. And I am very happy to hold your hand through styling you and saying this color matches you, this fit would look good, and to take you through my whole online web store to be able to take you shopping with me. And that to me is what it's about. I would expect nothing less, so I would give nothing less. That's my personal preference, standard of how I personally operate. So when it comes to my expectations, I expect what I give. I don't think that it's unreasonable to think what I give doesn't exist to have that returned. And when I go shopping, it proves itself. It definitely exists. So to close up here, what we're going to chat about is just wrapping this up, bringing it all home run, is that the meaning of a global sales athlete is not about turning business into a sport for the sake of a metaphor, because that's a bit pathetic. What it is recognizing high performance has biological, emotional, and behavioral foundations. So, health is no longer outside the sales conversation, it's part of the sales advantage. My favorite part of shopping in Alo, I'll tell you just now. But in every region, the leader who stays healthy, disciplined, and recovered will be better prepared to compete, connect, and close. Okay, I loved pairing this jacket with an aloe set, honestly. Like I really did love. And I think that what I learned about that is this jacket fits really nice with aloe. It's a mix of materials for the athleisure style. And if you're going, for example, to the hospital or to the doctors and you are shopping, but it's also summer, you want a short sleeve little crop jacket. You want to wear your lounge athleisure pants on a day and comfortable shoes. And maybe you also have your Lululemons and whatnot. I mean, I was exploring the different brands. I used to love um I won't go there. I'll wrap up now. It's been a long time. But the point is that future fashion is here and wellness fashion and health and gym fashion. Yes, this was about the sales athlete, but it's so exciting, sparkling in this jacket that I figured it has to have its own part in the show. Okay, until next time, go and sell some stuff. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.